Virtus.Pro are kings of the cobblestone castle, and now they move into Nuke. Will they explode in the semi-final? We'll find out in just a moment. Standing in their way is none other than defending world champions SK Gaming, and the analyst desk is going to try and make sense of what is coming up next. The new addition to the map pool, Nuke, is going to be well, it's been a talking point as of late, especially once we got to the Lanxess Arena. Janko, starting with you, we didn't think about this. Like, coming into this major, specifically this game, you were not expecting to see Nuke show up again.
I mean, mostly I expected it to be floated around by teams to get an advantage in the map bit, but we've been seeing it throughout the playoffs that the underdog teams have actually resorted to picking Nuke more, to throw a curveball, maybe thinking that, okay, if we play on standard maps, they're just better than us, so maybe we can surprise them on Nuke.
And we have seen Nuke already from SK, Duncan. Wasn't particularly glamorous?
No, they barely eked out the win there, but here's the interesting thing though, is that it was only last week when I was watching Virtus.Pro play Nuke against Gambit, and they lost there. The same Gambit who got destroyed by Fnatic yesterday. So it's not even like Virtus.Pro has some sort of basis on this map, on this version themselves. So I think this really is a crazy Joker pick. Now, it's okay for Virtus.Pro because they managed to steal the way SK's picks. It's not like they have to win it, but I have to say that's what I've seen from Nuke in the playoffs so far. Even though the underdog picks it purposely to try and throw that curveball, they kind of throw a curveball to themselves because both games were pretty unconvincing from all the teams that have played Nuke so far. And obviously in the case of Flipside against SK, actually Flipside didn't even manage to pull off the upset and get the map win there.
August, Krim's tweeting saying that some of the shots that VP are hitting is reminding him of 2014 Virtus.Pro. How do you feel?
I thought he was going to say Flusher. Yeah. That would be a hell of a compliment, right?
That would be, considering Flush's tear last night in the interviews. Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure, we can take a stroll down memory lane, and basically, I think it's good that we bring up Crim's tweet because that's what it's going to fall to, this map. You know, considering the shakiness that we've seen from both of the analysts so far on the desk, and myself included, I think both of these teams, they haven't had the time to fully buff out all of the edges on this map to figure out the rotations, the positions, everything like that, fine-tune it. I think this is going to turn into a down brawl. Like, knives are going to come out, and they're just going to try and shank each other in the dark because at this point, they don't really have anything else to go off of. It's going to be very clean, aim-orientated fighting here, I think.
A stark contrast to Cobblestone. We saw so much, you know, T-side executes, a lot of well-thought-out plays, structured play on Cobblestone. Janko, Nuke, a bit more of a brawl at this point. Surely that gives SK the edge. When it comes down to individuals pound for pound, we've always given SK the edge in that regard.
That's true, but the playstyle of some of the VP's players can really throw you off guard. Pasha, for example, he was holding yard for VP when they played Nuke before in the old iteration, and he would always find a way to, you know, sneak through the smoke, something that Snax is actually known for, but to play really aggressive, try to catch you off guard, and sometimes it even looks silly, but he manages to make it work. He's like the JW of VP, and that is really something that can throw the SK guys off guard.
Now, Virtus.Pro picked up the first map, and there's one corner of the arena that was particularly happy to have seen that go down. Virtus.Pro have got themselves an entire corner in the Lanxess Arena. It's happened again for another year running, and Mitch is hanging out there. Hopefully we'll be able to hear him as he can get a little gauge of what's going on into the second map.
Thank you very much, Alex and the desk. I have found myself in an interesting part of the arena. I'm set up here in the Polish corner. So yes, Poland! Now, you may wonder how I got here. I didn't actually walk here at all. I was literally picked off of the ground by these gentlemen here. This is how you're invited to the Polish corner. You are literally picked up and dragged in. This gentleman, just been speaking to him already, very much excited, all of you are, about VP's last map there as well. Will this be a 2-0?
VP is the best team, really. I love this, and hey, go hard, really.
Only one way to cheer, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I actually did find an SK fan here as well. Now, you're a brave man being here in this corner, but tell us, I do know a lot of these guys do also love SK as well as Virtus.Pro.
Yeah, it's hard to be here, but guys, the most important is to respect. Respect the Brazilians, respect the SK! They deserve to be respected. They are nice guys. Just respect them. Brazil! Woo!
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, it's as simple as that. These two teams going head-to-head in this semi are loved by many. Much of these fans... Simple as that. We're going to pass it back over to the NVIDIA expert desk. Kick it off. It's starting to get hot out here in the arena.
It definitely is heating up, and a lot of kind of you can just sense that there's a whole lot of respect.
I think that guy follows me on Twitter. That guy jumped in. I remember him.
Or was it Facebook?
A lot of respect from the Virtus.Pro fans there, and I mean, it does mean that they are one step away from the grand finals, gentlemen. It is kind of crazy to think that we sit here in the semi-finals saying Virtus.Pro are one map a win away from a grand final major stage.
That can be quite far, though. You're still playing the best team in the world.
Yes.
You're still playing a team that's fantastic. They have the philosophy. They have the individuals. So one map can be a million miles away, Alex.
And so it's going to have to be quick, Duncan, but give me that team name for Nuke.
I actually still think SK can win this map.
Okay,
I actually think they're a better team.
Want to see Mirage. Yanka, you want to see that third map?
SK, I want to see Mirage.
It's just because it's a sexy CS, and very quickly, August, are you joining?
Likewise, I want Mirage.
We all want Mirage. We're thinking with our hearts here. We do love the game that is Counter-Strike, and now we get to see it played out on Nuke. It's SK and Virtus.Pro. Will the Polish side find another grand finals, or will SK have an opportunity to defend their title? We'll find out now with Henry G and Sadakist.
And I can't wait to find out. After how that first map went down, this can only be incredible. And think about this map. Think about Nuke coming into this map pool. It's been the curveball during the playoffs. You think Liquid and Fnatic aren't watching this with all eyes on it right now? They're both going to be aware of what's going on.
Another interesting fact as well, Matt. VP are yet to close out a game in the playoffs that hasn't been in overtime. They had 2 versus Stratus, and they just done 1 versus SK there as well. And this is the oldest team in Counter-Strike WoW. So sometimes, Matt, it's not the age, it's the mileage. It takes a lot to go through those complete, exhausting games, the adrenaline rushes you get when you have to finish those games off and close them out. Very difficult, but they're doing a good job so far.
And just to point that out as well, 3 games that have gone to overtime in the playoffs, they've won them all. Interesting tweet just came out from Lurpus. The pistol percentages in this tournament, SK 80%, VP 30%. Imagine if they were able to pick up pistols consistently.
They lost both of them on cover and still win the map. It was an overtime, but they had an opportunity to close it out. They had a huge lead at one point. Very close finishing things off, but Nuke, it's such an unknown quantity. We know both teams do play this. I think SK do have the edge. I've seen them play it in more official capacity. They have a lot of tricks. They have all the boosts, the flashbangs, the sets, Molotovs, and all that sort of stuff. But ladies and gentlemen, this has been a fantastic way to kick off the semi-final. We do get into the second map now. Let's make some noise and show them how much we're loving this game so far. VP starting on the T side. 3 sets of armor, Molotov, 2 smokes. It's going to be quite a tactical play coming in here. And it's a dual elites for Fur as well. That's a audacious purchase, I have to say.
No armor to go with him. He does have a smoke brought up. Keep an eye early on the basics of how the teams behave. Neo already setting the smoke for upper. We didn't even see this one yesterday through the skylights. Remember, we talked about the skylights being busted out in advance. He threw that into a skylight window. You heard it break, so that actually gives some read onto it. But we have to keep an eye on those sort of habits. Again, outside Liquid, we talked about the corner smoke on the catwalk, the new addition to catwalk, smoke out FNX. He's got that thrown in by his teammate, trying to control the situation, trying to give him some support. But it's down through the vents they want to go. It's in and down to B. It's an old school strategy from a team that used to be brilliant on the old version of the map. And Neo's a little bit late to get there. A bomb not yet planted. In fact, the rotations have come around and dropped it. Neo's gonna have to try and pick that up and go for the plant as his team fends off ramp at Virtus.Pro. We said they got 30% pistols in this game. They're starting off well to get this one, but FNX, he shows up at the perfect time. He's got 2 kills, he's dropped the bomb down. There's 48 seconds for them still to try and grab this. And Neo has to go hunting for FNX, but Pasha's beat him to it. They're gonna take the bomb back to upper. And the rotation has to come around from coldzera, who once again find himself in a 1 versus 2.
He hasn't got the kid either. He's got 2 players to find. It's a very difficult prospect for him, but he's going in aggressive. Gets the kill on Neo as well. Up to Pasha now. Bomb plant in an awkward position, and coldzera has picked up the kid as well.
Crucial that he's picked up the kit. Gonna buy himself way more time, but Pasha playing so far off right now on Mini. He'll just play the sound trigger, wait for the defuse to try and come in. Cold. He's already pushed out to try and find him, but Mini didn't see him because of how far back he was. He thinks it's Heaven. He's staring at Heaven. He's tapped it and waited. Pasha's still not going to peek on this. He's going to have to hold this. It has to stick to defuse down to 2 seconds. Pasha needs to hit the shot. Cold, he's used the movement mechanics to his advantage. He's stolen the round. SK are going to get the pistol again.
Pasha had the opportunity to take him down, then he wasn't looking at him. Tried to play the percentages and thought, okay, I'll just run the bomb down, then I'll face. He has no idea I'm here. The full defuse comes in. It's that kit we talked about. He picks it up, 5-second defuse and crouching, just trying to make the aim awkward for Pasha there, and he can't land the shot. That was VP's round, and coldzera stepping up once more. 2 versus 1. And SK once again steal another pistol, but it came down to that play in the lower bomb site. FNX denies the plant and finds a second kill as well. Funneled them back up to the upper bomb site. And it's another force buy from VP as we go into round number 2. The AK comes in, it's Desert Eagles, Tech9s, and Pasha with the rifle, and it's going to be Fer to open things up.
That's heartbreaking.
That was it.
And so frustrating if you're Virtus.Pro. Cold pulls it off. Fer goes through the window in toward Hut. He's get tagged up on the way through, down to 32 HP, and Snack's gonna come out from Squeaky, try and catch him off behind as he retreats away with that low HP, catches him jumping up to try and get a better angle. And again, Virtus.Pro start things off well. Snacks trying to jump down to lower. He's gonna wrap back around, potentially try and take over Heaven as FNX. They've dropped bomb again, and he's the last alive, all on a lurk play. Snacks, 35 HP. A minute to work with at least.
It was Taco to push ramp there, getting information from his teammates, and just as VP are falling back with the bomb as well, he finds Pasha who had the AK-47, he's low HP, now it's just up to Snacks. Bomb down in lobby as well. There's not really much he can do here, to be honest. It's going to be a very difficult and heavy task as he gets in towards radio. And what's the play here? He's just hoping for a mistake to come from the seat. There's no real reason for them to push this position. They have no idea where he is. He's realizing that now as he tentatively edges towards the lobby area, but now his information has been spotted, and that's pretty much round over this stage. I'm not sure what the option is.
Snax is trying desperately to do anything he can, even just to take down guns at that point, force reinvestment, but SK take their second round. Convincing again.
Yeah, it was Taco stepping up. Just as they started losing a couple of frags, he decided to push ramp, doesn't find anything for it, and then once he gets to lobby, he finds rotating players, reloading, knives out, and capitalizes, gets 3 kills in total, and that's going to be the full eco now for VP. After getting the bomb down the pistol, it's exactly the same case we saw on Cobble. They force board in the second, doesn't work out for them. Means they're on full eco here, and they probably will be limited on that first gun run as well. It's very unlikely they can get an AWP in that round unless they've somehow got a couple of kills this time and got the glass cannon out. If they can get a plant this round, that'd be amazing. That kind of boosts their chances for sure. But at this stage, 1 Deagle, 2 P250, that's very unlikely, and even more so if Fer finds the first kill with the MP9.
Cold's got the alley as well with the UMP. Nade toward Pasha takes him down to 43. Should be relatively easy to pick him up at this point in time. Pasha's trying to use everything he can in terms of movement to make it difficult. But Snack's now the last alive, 1 versus 5. And our standard 3-0 start coming in off these pistols. Just to note again, VP, and I know it seems insignificant, but it's one of the things that you can play off of and just getting ahead with. It's not blowing out those skylights on A, and so far we haven't had a chance to really see what the smoke setups are going to be, but if they want to try and use those, they need to make that a habit.
Yeah, it's still definitely a CT-sided map. It's got the potential for sure to be T-sided in the future, but it's still in its infancy. We're still learning how teams are wanting to approach it. It's SK Gaming, they're one of the teams that played it the most. They've got a lot of tricks up their sleeve, and I'm sure their T-side will be very exciting. I'm interested to see what VP bring to the table. I actually have no idea. I've never watched them on this map, and it's going to be falling on the AWP, and as I said, VP, with that force fight in the second, they're limited to just AKs here. The AWP is very important for working the outside area as well.
Neo, AK at top. They have thrown 1 smoke, so now we're starting to get an indication of their play. It's going to be 1 towards Secret, 1 close up. They're going to push through that. And Cold, he's way, way back in the big garage to watch the wraparound onto Mini, but he won't be able to spot up Secret.
Smokes the ball. And there was an actual opportunity for Fallen to take that shot towards Secret. Only had a head to shoot, so it was a very difficult one, but he has got the information.
Exactly that. He can actually start to get a rotation. He's going to watch Ramper and make sure if they split, they can't get there as easily. And Taz and Neo are coming back through that lobby, but Snax takes down FNX early. They are down below in those hallways. Cold, he's not yet moved from this position because he wants to know if his teammates, they can Cold this rotation off coming in through ramp, if they can push them back into the B site. If they come back the direction, he's still in a decent position.
This is really nice here from VP. They've got the man advantage. They have control of the lower halls as well. You don't really do too much here, but Neo, he was looking for the kill, and Fer didn't know where he was. He's got the UMP and somehow comes out on top of that situation. That was the chance there to secure the round, but now it ties things up.
Interestingly, Fer thought it might have been Heaven because right now Cold watching outside and Fallen at ramp. There's no possible way to get there, but Fallen, he does take Pasha. I suppose you should still go around that catwalk, but you would have heard that coming, and Fallen, or rather Cold, I think, would have spotted that. But either way, Snack's now back into the site, 3 versus 4, and Fer again snaps his aim back, overtakes Snax. Bomb goes down, Bialy has to pull this back, 1 versus 3, smoke out toward me, that'll limit Cold, but he goes early and the smoke hasn't bloomed. Cold's able to take him down immediately.
Disappointing for VP there, like I said, he did everything perfectly. The smokes weren't great towards outside, but they weren't punished for it. They get that initial kill onto FNX in the lower bomb site. That should be a dream scenario. Normally you hold up in the lower halls, you wait for the rotation, see what the reaction is from the CTs there, but Neo, he went all in by himself on that upper bomb site, was actually gifted a kill as well, couldn't land the shots and somehow loses the exchange against the UMP. That opens the door for Fur as well. He gets multiple kills after that, shuts the round down, and that's going to be SK Gaming with a commanding victory here as we go 4-0. And round number 5 means that VP don't have much to work with. They're not getting the plants down. So it's going to be Desert Eagles, PD50s. They have got 3 smokes. I suggest they'll go towards outside once again, but Fur looking to farm some capture with the UMP. It does take a lot of damage to kick things off, though. He has to pull back.
A lot of damage to start things off, considering he, with guns, or rather, excuse me, with pistols, could have easily picked up a gun from that, so.
Well, that's the thing. He's got the UMP right there, as we described before. It's farming the cash. He knows there's going to be unarmored players against him, so it's worth that exchange. They actually swap over the weapons in. Fur goes with the AWP. It's actually such a long-range map. That's actually quite a nice call there. He'll have the opportunity to get kills before they even can get close with the pistol. So it's Fallen that gets the UMP. That's quite a nice little addition. Reacting to what's happened at the start of the round there. FNX is just patrolling towards upper, watching Squeaky and Hut, and that looks like where VP may end up as well.
FNX throwing Molotov out from Taco to support him, and Fallen now. He's rotating around to get inside of the site down on the floor. Remember, he's the one that's gone to the UMP. Taz has the entry, but there it is, sprayed out from Fallen. 3 kills on the UMP, big money gained. He's on 2 HP, but somehow stays alive again as the pistols can't find him, and he buys time and space for Cold to come through. And what a game of cat and mouse from Fallen. Jumps back through the window, stays alive in all of that, and Taco will close out on Neo.
5-0, and we do say this is a CT map, so this is pretty par for the course so far after you win the pistol, but it's up to VP now. They do have the opportunity to get the AWP. It's so important on the T side. Outside is a heavy area of contention. You get the AWP, you get the smoke set down, and you can actually go for those initial picks. I'm sure it will come out. It'll be interesting to see who picks it up. They are discussing one of the players right now. It's going to be a pause. I'm guessing it's technical, presumably.
Yeah, at this point in time, but you never know. I mean, Virtus.Pro.
You could see there's some holes in the game. Those outside smokes, they were a testament to that. Those outside smokes, as we know from the previous iteration of Nuke, they're used to completely give you a cloak as you go towards Secret. And then you can use that same tactic to not even go there, throw the smokes and have a fake of that. But they actually had huge gaps there, so maybe a little bit of problem there.
Well, judging by the amount of chatter right now, I haven't had confirmation yet. Okay, it is in the bottom corner. I can see it now. Tactical pause Virtus.Pro. So they're calling this early because on the previous iteration of Nuke, now we're not sure where this one will end up equalizing in terms of the metagame developing, where this game, or where this map really balances. But as of right now, they know on the old Nuke, 3 rounds on T-side was often enough.
Yep.
So taking the time out this early to address those those little mistakes, this T-side's so important. So that's why the early timeout call comes in. And Taz, look, they picked this. This was their curveball. He knows they've got to change it up early.
Right now, it's after beating SK in one of their best maps, and you start to ask yourself, was this the right call to bring Nuke into it? They're obviously not 100% comfortable in it. Had they won that pistol, I think obviously would have been a different story. That was thrown away, that 2 versus 1, the Pasha play. He had so many opportunities to win that round. He said he actually came out and could have put his crosshair on his head and just finished it off there and then, but he didn't want to take the risk. The Glock can be inaccurate at times, not 100% reliable. Took the risk for sure, and the full defuse comes in, and then it's problems are shown when he tried to finish him off, and he just spraying the Glock at range didn't work out for him. 5-0 here, it's going to be round number 6. The AWP still in the hands of Fallen, and no one purchases the AWP for VP, interesting enough. I thought it was almost certainly coming out for Snacks. But they have got a lot of utility to work with. They have the 4 Molotovs, 5 smokes. So something more tactical perhaps here, maybe that's what they're discussing. God, how do you throw that smoke again? Where does that Molotov need to go?
Yeah. Exactly that.
We know it's one of those maps, so like obviously you can run the defaults every single time, work the picks, go for map control, but it does have so many opportunities. With those skylights, as you mentioned before, we saw actually yesterday in the Liquid game, you can do the Molotovs to bounce off the ceiling and land in the rafters there, that flushes the CDs out of key positions, and then in those, when you go into the upper bomb site, you know there's certain positions you don't even have to check anymore. That's what's so powerful about the Molotov in CSGO. Timeout does come to an end, and it's going to be round number 6.
Just to give testament to that, one of the best teams with Molotovs and the use of Molotovs is SK as well. So we'll see if they're
going to have
studied something.
They're going to have loads of stuff. Trust me, they've got all the boosts, all the Molotovs, the set pieces. They're going to have lots of fun stuff to bring to the table.
Well, counter smokes out early from SK on the outside position. That's toward red. It allows Cold Zero to cross over and get in towards Secret. He's not peeking from the stairwell, just hugging the corner and allowing them to push forward and catch them off with an unorthodox position.
Just as you pointed out at the start of the game as well, it's going to be VP shooting out the windows at the start. That just means you have to do it every single round, so there's consistency there. You won't necessarily use them, but when you do go to use them, when you throw the grenade through, it doesn't make the noise. Obviously, the glass won't smash the flashbang hitter, for example. So that's pretty standard for the start of the round, and it keeps the CTs guessing. There will be the flashes going through this time, so maybe an upper play as Taz is waiting in lobby. Doesn't look like they'll be reacting to this just yet, though. Maybe that's just to bait out some grenades from the CTs.
And yes, they didn't act on that, but you could see how effective they were. Both Fur and FNX took those flashes in full duration inside of the site. So if they time that correctly moving forward, if it starts to be a factor, they're going to be pretty crucial to anything that they want to execute on this A site, Virtus.Pro. Now we're seeing more of a tactical lineup. Smoke's out on Catwalk. Second one's going to go a little bit further down the line. This is the corner smoke I talked about yesterday. It completely limits anyone in Big Garage. Cold Zero won't be able to see a wraparound potentially coming in. And Taz, he's already walked down through Mini. He's out from Hut. He's got one. He's on Fur. And he turns back to find Fallen. Finally, a full execution coming in from Virtus.Pro. And the smokes give them all the conceal of movement. They wrap it around. And Cold had no vision at all from outside. Dropped by Snacks in one round of Virtus.Pro.
They knew exactly what they were doing. They could see it all setting up, baked out those grenades at the start with the flashbang, see what the reaction is, and then they do it. They drop all the smokes on the bomb site. Taz coming out. He had great form on Cobble, continues it into round number 6 there, finds everything as he comes out the hut with the AK-47. And it's VP finally posting some numbers on the board here. Not picking up an orphan now. It's a pretty clean round for them. But SK Gaming still have tons of money available, even after the reinvestment. Cold Zero 6K, Fur 5. So Fallen has the AWP once more. Nuke's definitely one of those maps you can have tons of different setups to the CT. You can take the orb towards ramp, you can have it in heaven, you can take it aggressively outside. So that's where Fallen's going to be so key here. Let's see where he decides to go this time. He actually will be towards the ramp room. To be fair, it's one of those positions on the map I haven't seen utilized too much yet. It's a very tight choke point, difficult with the terrorists actually make use of that. In the previous iteration, there were great ways to set smokes and take a little wall, a little passageway into that area, but Fallen, though, he's gone very aggressive. He's actually pushing all the way to lobby here with the orb. VP might get shut down by this.
So again, just to point out a skylight play, if we could switch over to Taco. I'm not sure we can or not, but he's got a smoke in front of him on heaven that came from outside position. So just to his right, that smoke came from Virtus.Pro, throwing it through those skylights. So another position that you can see, not a Molotov this time, but it pushes him back, takes away the vision, allows entrance from Hut, but great play from Fallen to get up close and take down Neo. He's all the way into the first radio room, and he's gonna fall back after that because they have the man advantage.
That's what he wanted. Gets there undetected and holds that nice tight angle. Hits the first shot as Neo going down. So 45 seconds remaining, and the terrorists, they are limited now. No smokes remaining. They've got Molotovs. They're going to have to go back towards Ram and see if they can get his pick. And Fallen spots him. He'll just have to fall back towards lower now. He's there by himself. It's not worth taking the risk at this stage. He just wants to run the time down as low as possible. You can see he's actually wanting to take his duel potentially as the terrorists make their way towards ladder.
But Cold catches Plasha in the motion at the new catwalk, trying to wrap around to heaven, and well timed to catch him as well because it gives them back the man advantage, but it completely shuts down any potential for the full wrap at ramp to go toward hell. Bialy taking Fur. Taz has cleared out decontamination. They've got to go for this plant. 11 seconds. Bialy's going to do it safely in behind the silo, which means the decontamination doorway becomes a factor. However, Taz is going to try and use the mind games right now. Change it altogether as FNX finds his teammate. 3 players in the site, and he's got to wait. He's got to let them get closer. He goes for the first peek, catches them off. Taco was throwing a nade, but he still can't land the shot. And it's a reset now coming in as SK steal the round back.
Well then, one of the most common clutch positions on the lower bomb site. You plant the bomb yourself, go towards the back walls and get into the vents area. It means you can find one cheeky kill, reposition yourself between the window room or toxic, or back door, which you call it now, contamination room. And it makes things very interesting. But Taz, he had an opportunity to find 2 shots there, and he composed his aim a little bit more, could have maybe landed a shot, but doesn't work out, goes with a full spray, and it's going to be SK Gaming taking round number 7. That's fully reset VP now. That loss bonus they accumulated in the early stages of the game has been completely shut down, and they're trying to give the same treatment back towards SK. They will be force buying this round. 2 Tech 9s, 3 AK. It's not the best situation, but they have the utility to work with again. If they went for that set piece in upper, that's probably the best option here. But it looks like they may be favoring towards outside. We're waiting for them in the garage.
It's going to be down the vent. Snacks goes aggressively with that smoke out, but his own team's not committed to this. He's just trying to get himself in a position where he can take advantage of his team trying to take over outside. That's spotted by FNX. Cold playing at the garage has to allow them to wrap around, and Neo, spotting Taco already on the stairwell, uses the door quite cleverly, but that's not a shield enough to take away from that AK that Bialy possesses, and they've got some entrance point onto this lower position now.
Yeah, nice little tactic here from VP. 1 down the vents and 4 towards Secret. They exchange the kill efficiently, but they're taking a lot of damage here. Bomb will be planted, but the CTs just waiting for that moment, and they'll come in together. There it is. Bomb goes down, and this is where the retake really begins. CTs will be coming from ramp and the vents. Next kill, tremendously important now. Oh, it's a miss for an incendiary as well. That would have flushed him out towards the back.
He's just going to get away. Over toward control room with Taz. SK getting closer, trying to walk back through. Cold takes Taz to start it off. Pasha needs to follow this up. Same position, same angle. He gets the shot back, but Cold again. His attention turns, and just like that, FNX, he's found Snacks waiting in the back of the vents.
Very composed up there from SK. Didn't want to rush the situation. No one going in by themselves and giving the frag away for 3. Making sure they had the rotation set up efficiently. And they did throw the incendiary towards the bomb site, which would have been perfect, but it was misthrown. Made things a little bit more complicated, but Coldzera hitting the shots, very confident in his play. Great aim. And it's going to be 7-1 here. And the bomb was planted for VP, but as I said, their money has been fully reset. So the extra $800 is beneficial for sure. It helps them get a partial buy potentially, but still going forward, it's going to be almost a full eco here. They're not investing in armor just yet. I think Snacks is the only one who's justified it. So 5 smokes. Outside executions have been good at getting them to position, but I'm not sure it's enough to win a round at this stage.
FNX up to heaven immediately, dropping the Molotov inside a hut, slowing them down. So we said it was reset last round. It was. The money was reset, but because of the efficiency they were able to buy, this time they can't due to forcing into the last one. So Taco falls back. No one really playing that headshot position just yet that we used to see toward that railing, at least not consistency. At least not consistently, excuse me, as Fallen watches Turnpike, make sure they can't wrap around, but that means they have to go toward Taco. And Taco, he's up to the challenge. 3 go down, but they have managed to trade that out. Although awkward exchanges, Snacks thinks, all right, I finally got a moment to breathe. You definitely don't. Fallen jumps down with the pistol, takes the fight directly back to him, and it's up to Pasha.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty nice play from Fallen. He knows the reload has to come in. He's expended all his bullets. It wasn't the prettiest kill, but he manages to land it in the end. It's going to be Pasha remaining 3 versus 1. Has not got the bomb. That's in the horrible position towards Rambo and Coldzera. Triangle should take him down here, which he does. Headshots with the M4A4. 3 players surviving for SK once again. That was the eco from VP. Didn't really fully invest to it. Used the smokes and tried to make something happen towards the Rambo and attacker, just mowing them down there. Finds 3 kills and Fallen gets the 4th. Pasha couldn't really do too much with the round. We go into number 10. Quite a quick half here. We haven't seen any AWPs purchased for VP so far. I think Pasha is considering that option right now. You can see him yet to purchase. And there it is. He goes with the AK here. So it seems that suggests to me they're more orientated towards the set pieces and the executions. They want to get control of lower. Like we said, that's a key part of the map to take. If you can get towards lower, exchange your first kill, even if it's a 4-on-4, it means you have to wait for the CT to react and actually make them go forward with the mistakes. So nothing going on too dramatic so far. Will be smokes towards ramp. And Neo looking for any aggressive CTs here. Snacks made his way in towards the vent.
He's trying to do the same thing he did last time. Now, the one thing I will say about that, we'll come back to that, is Taco's found him because they can relay the information from the player at Rafters. Seeing the smoke come out, they picked up on the trend. But yesterday we saw that crossfire at lower. Taco's got advantage of it now because he stayed alive, and this Bialy gets him back. Neo's late to this, low on HP, through the smoke. Fur is able to spray him down. Bialy inside a control room. His teammate at the door needs to be cautious of that because he's low on HP. He's going to try and hold off this vent. And Bomb needs to come in and go for the plant. Needs to come in from that doorway. Smoke to do so for Pasha. He's just going to plant on the very edge of it. And then immediately get back inside the doorway for safety. He's got to use the headshot potential of that stairwell. They're going to set the crossfire once more with Bialy for anyone entering through, but it's Coldzera in the vents that can pop out and surprise Pasha from that position. It's just a matter of timing. Bialy, good angle though, brings this back down. 2 kits still up and in play. Fur hits the shot in return. It's now just Pasha, 12 HP. And they know where he's gone. They're gonna try and funnel him out, but he's actually gone by Coldzera. He's gone around, they think he's together. They have no idea where he is, and Pasha's managed to pull that back on Fur. It's on to Cold. He hits the shot from the angle. And he's got the time for the defuse.
A little bit awkward there, nading each other, and Fallen going in by himself. We complimented that discipline play before, and this time Pasha, he's so far away from the bomb. He hears the defuse coming in, but he can't hear the footsteps as he gets off, so he has to assume he's gone for the full defuse in the smoke. Doesn't work out. He's got such low HP.
So the thing with Snacks dropping down those vents is yesterday we saw Liquid going into those lower hallways, but getting beat by the Navi crossfire. One on each stairwell. Remember, there's the additional stairwells now toward decontamination, which means the CTs can control those angles. By Snacks going down vent, you can actually pop out the vent in the backside and be right on top of that stair on a different angle, a different approach. So it's actually kind of interesting. We said like a Molotov or a smoke for Liquid. It'd be interesting to see if that kind of Snacks play could also benefit that take on the lower hallways.
To the punch and get there quickly. And not allow them not to set up here, but it's going to be 9-1 in favor of SK Gaming. A commanding lead so far. Round number 11 comes in. It's going to be the outside play for VP this time. The smokes go down once more. And we'll see if they can do anything about this. They made their way towards Catwalk here, but Taco's rotating. Been great so far, but Neo's better. And he gets the 5-4. And now a real opportunity to do something with this round now.
They're just clearing out the angles. Remember, Cold has been spotted numerous times toward that big garage, and hence Taz's attention toward it, but they've got that covered off. He gets closer to Locker. Fallen. He's going to get away from that position at hell altogether and go back in toward the turnpike. Cold Zero takes Taz back. That'll pull it to 4s. Neo's in a position where he can jump off that AC, though, and get back up to help Bialy as he's going to start to clear out, once that smoke dissolves, all of the rafter position, and it's Fur that's waiting for it. He knows they're out there. He knows they've wrapped around, and good angle held with the M4. This used to be a position where if you had a terrorist player here on the old Nuke, you had so much to work with in the map, but at this point in time, there's just so much information grabbed and so much expected from SK. It's Neo that's gonna follow up next, but he's only got 15 HP to try and get it back inside of the site. Good flash through though. That'll allow him the entrance. He gets caught, but FNX there for the trade.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what that smoke was trying to achieve from Neo there. I think he wanted to drop it a little bit shallower and give him some cover as he came out towards heaven, but didn't really work out for him. It's gonna be 3 versus 1 now. Pasha has got the bomb, but detected straight away. FNX takes him down. Double digits achieved for SK Gaming. The VP had that great execution towards the upper side. They haven't really brought much to the table since then. The money's tight once more. They keep force buying, hoping these rounds work out for them, but they get the initial kill as Neo that time takes the outside player down, but they're not really capitalizing, not assertive enough. And it's going to be presumably another partial buy here. They can just balance the books, take things down to about 2K. Tech 9, smoke grenades. Once again, get towards Secret potentially. They only have 2 smokes now, make it 3, so that's definitely an opportunity for them. Maybe this is a straight up rush towards Apple because Snacks is saying, okay, I'll get into the vents every single time. Let's try and do something with this. Ramp split potentially. He can get out and try and get the bomb to, yeah, I think that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yep, Snacks goes down again. Wrap out backside of vents, gonna cover off the stairwell. It is Cold Zero that's waiting there. But he's not gonna commit to it just yet, Snacks. Instead, he's gonna wait for that to come to him, and FNX and Fur trying to get information in return for SK. Fur, he's gone all the way down to decontamination. He's got the first kill, spots the planter, but he's got a nade drawn, so can't get the spray into Pasha. So bomb planted at least for these pistols to work with, but 10-1 for SK. If they can't pull this round back, they're gonna be in a world of trouble. They need to start putting numbers on their board, and it's Snacks to get Fur to help that cause, but they still are getting closer on this retake. FNX waiting to buy time, Fallen in the vents with the AWP. He's spotted by Snacks.
Surely this is enough.
Kits on both though. A little bit of time to work with, but not much considering the disadvantage. FNX gonna try and walk back in, find Snacks to start things off, but look at Neo. He's shuffled his position. They think he's out toward decontamination. He's walked back into the vents, and Bialy onto FNX. Cold, he's gotta bail out. He's gotta get away from it. And I'm not even sure he's going to. Neo's got him on the way by. He'll go down to the bomb, but it doesn't matter. No guns held by SK. Yes, they've got lots of money left up, but it is a reinvestment, and Virtus.Pro can start to try and break them down.
The reason that round is so strong for VP is they're getting Snacks in the vent consistently. They've used that information, they've built around it. As soon as he gets in the vents and his teammates are going fast towards ramp as well, they're using the power and numbers. There's normally ever going to be 1 CT waiting for them there. If they get that initial kill like they did, that sets them up for such a strong position. Snacks is controlling the vents, has stopped the rotations coming in. They can get a nice clean plant down, and they're finding the frags with those Tech 9s. It's a big round for them to pick up, and very well played indeed.
Same problem again though for Virtus.Pro. They've just reset a 5-round bonus, and they lost 4 players in doing it. Bialy threw the smoke out toward the outside position. Cold Zero again not going to be playing on the stairwell at Secret, but rather, back toward the big garage. Once all of it on Squeaky won't allow Neo to go back in that direction, but Snacks watching Heaven is going to allow his teammates to get back into those stairwell again, this time without Snacks in the vents. It's just straight up in. Fallen's actually going to outside late with the AWP, so he will not be on ramp for the fast rotation.
Just hunting for that kill right now, seeing if they can get anything working in their favor. The CT's not really showing too much, but there it is. Taco is actually on the bomb site behind the silo. He can do a lot of work from here. That's a great position to get them as they come through that door.
He's the only one right now on the CT side down here. We hear the window at control go out. He knows he's got to call for help, but in the meantime, he's got to get some kills, and Pasha, he's not going to allow that to happen. Not only that, Pasha's going to get aggressive, push through the smoke on ramp. He heard Fallen dropping down, but he's trying to find him. Watch out, he's back in. Molotov inside of the site, smokes on either. Fallen, thankfully, can't push through behind him because nade drawn. It could have been a huge issue. And now that those smokes are gone, it's nades and Molotovs to hold them off, using everything they have. Virtus.Pro. Pasha, good damage done onto Fallen. And they're already trying to bail away from this SK, but Pasha's not going to allow that to happen. He's going hunting, he's got one more kill, and he's looking for Cold. Crossfire set, doesn't spot FNX. And it's down to 2 versus 3. Still a bit of a chance in this, but time's gone so far that they can't really commit without any further information.
I felt like Taco could have done so much more in that position. He overcommits. Had he just waited for them to actually make their way to the bomb site and gone for a plant or even opened up that first door, he could have done a lot of work there. He faces towards the window, and that's what VP wanted to do. They were hunting for a frag. Like I said, they cleaned out every single area. They had terrorists all over the place. Coming out towards window, they're just facing towards that bomb site. He doesn't get that first kill, and that's what sets VP up so nicely. Their bomb goes down, and look at the money for SK now. They've actually finally broken it. A lot of these rounds have been pretty close. It's going to be Max 7's UMP. There is an AWP, of course, in the hands of Fallen, but Snax finally has one himself. This is where outside becomes a lot more dangerous for them. They're not just trying to get down towards Secret, they're actually going to be trying to actively find frags as well.
Taco and Fallen both toward the ramp. This time it's FNX outside alone. No Cold Zero in that place. As he gets the UMP up on headshot. So Virtus.Pro with the 3rd round already, and now the money getting lower on SK have given themselves a chance to make something of this half. They more than anyone know that all you need is a few, all you need is a chance when you swap over to CT on Nuke. And a good start for Taz again. He'll take down for Bialy. Just waiting at red crate again, probing all possible positions that SK could be dwelling in. It's Snax, excuse me, with the AWP over toward Cold. It's waiting to get ramped back, but Fallen finding the shot onto Bialy. It draws them level and leaves Pasha quite far away from the rest of his team.
What's interesting about that as well, Fallen's given his hand away towards the outside site. He's actually been playing a lot towards ramp, so Snax is aware of this as well. He's hoping he can find a rifle player here. As he edges in towards that area, it's up to him now by himself and see if he can get a kill. Flashes in, going to go for the face. Cold Zero in a very strong position, can just face at any time exactly like that and take him down. He's only got the UMP. That's a huge frag to take, and Snax has no backup. Taz trying to rectify the mistake in a 3-on-3. Gets SK back into this round.
Smoke out. Cold might try and take advantage of this again as he looks for more information, but Pasha getting Taco off-site means they can rotate back. Smart play from Cold to try and take advantage of the retreat. The HP's gone so low as Fallen finds another, and that's the bomb as well inside the A site. Taz is going to go through, pick that up in Hut. And he's going to try and get through the window quickly and down toward the vents potentially. No, I take that back. Pasha's going to come back up to join him because they knew Fallen was looming large, but now how do they approach this situation on the rotation? Cold Zero, he's getting so close to the vents themselves, but you drop in, it's into the clutches of Pasha, but he doesn't see it coming! Fallen gets down up close personal with the AWP and takes it away. It's Taz, found immediately after the plant. Fallen, what a round from him as he picks up 4 kills.
Pasha was ready for it. That's the angle he is holding, is looking to get those rotating players, and somehow Fallen with the AWP comes down, completely wrecks him at close range. We saw it on Cobble towards the last sectors at overtime, and my God, that was a round VP had tied up there by the looks of things. The bomb was going down there, the crossfires, positions covered. Fallen with 4 frags though. That was a difficult buy for them. 1 AWP, 1 rifle, and some SMGs and pistols. Round number 15 arrives, and VP do have money to actually get into this one. It's going to be Pasha on the AWP this time by the looks of things. It's probably for it to Snax, but obviously is well versed in the weapon himself. It's looking like SK Gaming setting themselves up for a huge lead here before the second half. And it's, like we said, it is definitely a CD-sided map right now. When I first saw this map, I thought there's so many opportunities for the T-side here. There's so many different options to actually bring to the table with, but I think that's still yet to come.
Exactly. I think it is yet to come. I think a lot of it is just lack of clarity and understanding of how the map exactly plays. You can tell everyone has an intention, but they don't know how to achieve it in the best way.
Someone's going to get godlike at this map in the next 6 months, and they'll set the tone, and that will become the matter.
Yep, that's absolutely true. And then everyone will copy that model. As FNX is shuffling his position after nading back through onto Snax, down to 61 as a result of it. Fallen again on the ramp this time for SK. As you said, he's been spotted in that position, but it's Cold Zero that goes down to Pasha. As again, there's room to grab from SK at outer, and they're going to fall back off of this and try and play a more standard position. Pasha will get a little bit more aggressive, but Bialy's still just waiting at mini, and Taco wants to try and push back out to do something of this at the lower stairwell with that shotgun getting close at the corner. It's a risky play for him to try and make to get too close to the open mouth of that stairwell because that shotgun at the outside range won't do much, but he wants to try and catch them off. Burr gets Pasha. Now they have the information that they're at outer, and Taco, he gets behind him, he takes the shot, he does. 2 shots from the shotgun at range, and good luck. Good luck from there, Taco, to try and take Bialy, but he stays alive on 7, but a Meg 7 from there. No chance. It's Bialy, though, 1 versus 4.
Should have taken it down there, to be fair. Wouldn't have meant too much in the grand scheme of things, but there it is, 12-3. It was VP getting back into it, that set execution towards upper we thought was fantastic. We didn't really see that again, Matt. After such a successful play, you'd think, okay, let's go back to that and start using that as maybe some fakes, and we'll start trying to utilize those smokes once again. Didn't really see it after it worked.
We didn't at all, so 12-3. It's not an unfamiliar scoreline on a map like Nuke. Maybe a little bit surprising on this new version. Virtus.Pro picked it. We'll see if they still have the the Virtus.Pro of old on their CT sides when we come back after the break. (12-3) in favor of SK on the map Virtus.Pro picked. Map 2, remember, Virtus.Pro did take Cobblestone in overtime, but if you want to make a 12-3 scoreline work on a CT side of Nuke, you rely on a pistol, and they've yet to win one. They came very close.
Very close.
But yet to win one in this series.
Yeah, that's a huge factor here. The 12-3 scoreline is such a scary one purely because of that. If you don't win the pistol, there's an immense amount of pressure you need to force buy and find something out of it. You can't go 3-0 down. Obviously, the defending team will have map point very early on in the series. So VP, it's not quite the must-win pistol, but right now it's much needed, I would say. If they don't win this one, they'll be forced buying the second and just hoping for the best. CT side, though, it's definitely favored right now, as we kept pointing out in the first half. So this was the pocket pick for VP now. This was the curveball they threw in to try and kind of use that underdog status to say, well, both teams are not comfortable on this map. Should we see what happens and see if we can potentially trip them up on it? But so far, they've fallen over themselves.
So here we go. What's the investment? So far, two utility players from Virtus.Pro.
Do you know what I want to see? I want to see aggression on the CT side. I want to see them pushing ramp, going for the kills here. But like you said, 3 smokes does not suggest that's going to be happening. If you're going to try and play like that, you probably get 1 flashbang, 4 sets of armor, and you try and hunt for the first kills. But they're going to be playing something a little bit more methodical, sitting back and smoking off the choke points. And SK Gaming heading to ramp room very fast indeed.
When you say they were going to play methodical, oh, missed thrown flash. Won't allow much to blind up, and that actually is a huge factor. Bialy, the flash doesn't go through, he's got full vision, he gets 2. Pasha's gonna take down Fur, but there's 2 trades that go against the Pasha. Trying so hard to take them down as he pushes back in. It's 1 HP that Fallen strives with, and 1 bullet too little that Pasha had, but look where the bomb is, inside of the smoke.
They've done it, that's enough. They can get the boost going now as well, get Pasha into that OP position we normally talk about.
Pasha does get boosted up.
How do you stop this?
Wrap around, go the other way, 1 minute and 10 seconds.
Good luck with that. You play the headshot box at the back and you can still spot that area.
That's what Pasha's waiting for right now as well. Good dink on the Snacks. That goes down. Cold Zero started it. Remember, it's Fallen on 1 HP, so Cold has to do most of the work here. The heavy lifting, but 36 HP left for him, and Pasha's still in a prime position. Does get the shot on it. Cold, Fallen with 1 HP. I think now we can start to sign the waiver that this round has gone away. Tons of smokes. That's why the smokes come in handy. You talked about the utility bot. Well, now they can take advantage of it with that bomb dropped. As Fallen tries to peek through it. Pasha's going to get away from that position, knowing that, all right, I've probably overstayed my welcome.
30 seconds, no bomb recovered. 1 HP for Fallen. This should be an impossible scenario, Matt. Should be being the operative statement there, but he's doing some work gimmick. Yeah, a little bit uncomfortable there. It is. Finally, Pasha finishes things off. It was the ramp rush from SK. Try and get in there quickly, like I said. Normally, it's going to be one player there on the gun rounds, but on the pistol, that's quite a heavy area because of the lack of grenades. It's not going to be incendiary, slowing you down, so it's a much more viable place to go. And they were trying to make it work with Bialy. He's been tremendous with the USP in this tournament, and he steps up once again, finds those first 2 kills. Pasha, and they get the bomb goes down. Pasha getting boosted up. That should have been the round over then. It did get a little bit interesting, but SK Gaming have they forced? They've got a scout, and Fur is on $150. So has he the one who's dropped the scout over to Fallen and kept his money strong? That's exactly what's happened. So they want him to have the AWP, obviously, and then see what he can do. The strongest sniper on the team.
Snacks takes the first shot out toward that long position. Outside, occupied heavily, but watch the wrap around this new catwalk. Snacks scoped in again. He won't be able to see that. Thankfully, falls back to an angle. He will, but it's Pasha to start things off, taking down Taco. There it is. Snacks that angle. Doesn't matter if he's scoped in or not. He can see them both, but 2 players facing him down. Fur's going to get the shot onto him. It's a scout available at outside is Fur. He's going to continue to try and push around, and Bialy, he needs to be aware of this with the MP7. In fact, he's going to give up Heaven altogether. No, I take it back. All right, looked like he was just going to play Raptors and watch Mini, but now he's aware that Fur is coming around. Shoulders shown, quick few shots through.
Yeah.
And Fur will back off, at least for now.
Yeah, Fur can't do anything about that scenario there. He's unarmed once he's against the SMGs, and Neo, what a position this is. It's the information, no kill just yet, but that grenade's decent. Yes. And then some.
Yeah, and then some, because Cold goes down very low on this as well. Neo's going to take down FNX. Slow in the first half, but then again, his whole team was, to be fair. Neo, he's going to start this one off with style. Their 5th round picked up. Cold goes down, forced by, not really amounting to anything for SK.
Yeah, they kept the money strong, though. You can see Fallen didn't invest anything. Like we said, the scout was thrown over to him, so VP have done it, though. They've managed to win the pistol and fended off the semi-force bite of SK Gaming as well, so far, so good. There's no reason why they can't give SK the same treatment they just received. It is a CD-sided map, especially on the old iteration. You remember those kind of scorelines we've seen almost every single game. We go into round number 18. It will be a little bit of investment here. Tech lines, PD50s. You can see one smoke in the hands of Coldzera. Maybe that's to get the bomb down the vent, throw it in front of the squeaky door, and just hope you can get a cheeky plant down there. That would be my intention with that one smoke, and we'll see where that comes in. As the smoke is thrown towards the squeaky door, but it looks like his teammates are setting up towards the ramp room.
Pasha's the one that's waiting and takes the first fire toward them. Look at the damage done already, and they're not even through the doorway. Bialy's gonna go back to Heaven, but Pasha goes down. It's all on a Neo. Again, low HP, but it's 9 bullets that he has left, and they're able to wrap around both doorway entrances onto the lower site for being able to take him down on the way by. And headshot box position for Bialy.
What?
Taco getting Snacks. This is starting to be an incredible round. It's going to be turned around. Good read from that nade. That'll close it out if Bialy's bullets don't do it first, and they do. But a 1 versus 3. SMG from range, bomb planted, and a kit to work with, but no nades to try and flush them out any further. Smoke to potentially conceal a fast defuse. 1 in Toxic, 1 over behind the stairs of Control. Bialy's been checking all the off angles. He does it again. He's found 1 more, but time's still ticking, and he's got to bait them out now with Sound. No, he's going to try and think he's baiting them out. He's going to try and lead them on. He's got the ninja so far. No, it's denied. Fur is just barely going to get there. And SK take a round away, an important round away because it's early on. Money's not established, and we talk about the CT momentum building up. That'll shut it down.
Oh, that was close, though. That's pretty much all Neo could do in that scenario. He knows they've got the lesser weapons, but the good news is he had the auto shotgun, which is purchased by Taz, no less. So that actually is a great weapon to go into. With that full ninja defuse coming in, you can't really miss with that one. So you just go in, spamming the auto shotgun, and you actually manage to take him down. That was actually the important factor there. We see that weapon used pretty much only on this map, but they're going to throw it away. It's pretty useless on the T side here. It's only really beneficial for the defending side. So they're getting a nice full buy. They want to close this out right here, right now. Don't keep those lesser weapons, and you can see VP struggling. 3 M4s, 2 pistols, and it's a fast play towards outside. Fur leading the charge and catwalk here.
Falling out on Twinkie is going to try and watch her silo. Try and watch out toward that big garage is Fur again. Is getting covered by him to wrap around, but doesn't account for the positioning that Snacks has. Good response shot, though, from the AK. And now they can start to take map control away for SK from Virtus.Pro. It's a curveball from Virtus.Pro to bring this in, but SK's a tactical team. Like you said, you know they've had something at least planned. Absolutely. As Fallen's going to take down Neo as well. The gun's starting to fall away from Virtus.Pro, and so too the money, which is a crucial factor because this will be 14 rounds and then 15 potentially if they can take down the eco against them, if they have a successful anti-eco situation.
This is why they've gone all in this round. Make sure they get the AWP, the 4 AKs. Don't want to risk anything here. Don't keep the SMGs, don't keep the shotgun. Let's finish him. This is such a powerful position to be in going forward. 2 players remain for VP. Pretty much, I'd say you want to be saving the weapon here, but I guess Someone needs to step up. Someone needs to find something here. It's Taz who can't do it. He's Bialy in a 5-on-1, but round over. 5 players alive, money and tatters for VP.
Yep, that early win, it's already shut them down, Virtus.Pro. It's 14-5, no money on the Virtus.Pro side. They're gonna have to play for overtime and 10 match points.
I don't even think it's worth it at this point. You're so far behind, you need to take the risk. You need to be going in. It's very unlikely you're gonna win 10 rounds in a row, right? Do you guys go in with the Deagles and hope for the best and see if you can do that, but they're going for the full eco here. Maybe they want the overtime, I guess.
On any other map, I doubt they would. I guess something about Nuke, maybe they're hoping holds true.
They still won't have great money though. It's going to be limited. They'll have Femforce and Famises and 10 rounds in a row to achieve it. Yeah, I guess you're right with Nuke. The CT side can be overwhelming.
So Taz, Snacks, Bialy, and Pasha all outside. All waiting for this entrance from Fur. He's wrapped around time and time again. Last time as well, he took down Snacks with the AK, but this time he's got a welcoming party. Snacks can't quite see him yet. Now does. It's Bialy that gets the shot instead from over top of the blue crate, formerly the red crate T side.
Yeah.
But it is Cold Zero that's also out in this position. He's got to be careful now, knowing the situation that there's so many players around, and he might just slip away undetected, but Pasha's going to try and take back this control, and Cold's not looking that direction. A jump for Pasha, but the AK prevails in that situation as FNX takes back onto Snacks. It's starting to pull back for SK and the weapons.
Yeah, a promising start, but Taz has got the AK-47, made his way to main entrance. Could this be the play that gives him an opportunity to get back into it? Unfortunately, not the aim punch. Takes him out of that situation. It's going to be the 4-on-2 now. SK being very clinical since they lost their first frag, working together, and Bialy waits on the other side of Squeaky Door. FNX not giving anything away there. They're going to stick together, run the time down, and make sure they go in the bomb set together.
Bialy will shut the front door on him, but it's FNX to open it right back up and say, I don't really care. I'm coming in anyway. Neo will come back up the fence. Late 2 kills for him. At least makes it a contest, but a contest won in the end still by SK. It is map point, and the Desk all wanted it. They all believed in it to go to Mirage and have this series close out in style. We are that close to doing so.
Absolutely. So like I said, it won't be the best buy for VP, but this is the play. 10 rounds in a row required. Very unlikely, but certainly possible. It's going to be this round that defines it for sure. They can keep a nice clean sheet here, keep 3 or 4 weapons alive and shut them down. But the problem is they're lacking incendiaries. They don't have kits, they don't have the AWP. SK Gaming has run a full default towards outside and there'll be no real response for it, but this thrown Molotov at the start would have been extinguished anyway, but you can see how slow pace this is. Now Fallen's trying to do something with the orb, but the exchange goes equal to kick things off.
Snacks trying to go for the aggressive peek on the back of this. Can't find the kill he's looking for. Changes the angle again. Massive gaps now in these boxes, and Fallen, he walks right into it. But it's the AWP, and we know Fallen's a threat up close. Not to account for the fact that Cold Zero's there. And what's the result? Fallen's able to take down Neo right after.
Well. 4-on-2. 1 round will do it for SK. It's up to Pasha and Taz. Different positions. One towards ramp. The other in heaven. At this point, there's so much time available. They can't afford to sit together. Someone needs to step out, find that pick, and it's not going to be them. Taco takes out Pasha. 4 versus 1. That's pretty much the round concluded, but see if Taz has some magic in the tank here.
He's going to try and push back through. At least to Hut. He's got to make a play. He needs to try and catch them off and then be able to retreat safely, not allow the trade to come in immediately. As they get closer, so too does the end of the map. It's Cold Zero to close it, 16-5, and SK overwhelmed Virtus.Pro on their map of choice, has to be said. You have to wonder as well, Virtus.Pro, they gamble on it, but they gamble on it doing so knowing they start on the terrorist side.
It was definitely billed as the question mark and the curveball and all these different cliches, but it was SK Gaming looking formidable from the get-go. The CT side especially completely locked it down. 12-3 scoreline, and they won one of their force buys as well on the third. That's always been a very difficult scenario to recover from. It was VP's chance to actually win a map here, but they've already done that. They've already did that on Cobble, right? So it's 1-1. We do go to Mirage, which is going to be amazing.
Yeah, I mean, that's the big thing. They get Cobblestone, so yes, okay, they don't win the Nuke. That was the coin. That was the one to get them back in. It doesn't really matter at this point. Mirage is still very close between these two teams, and if Virtus.Pro can play like they did on Cobble, if they can forget a lack of map knowledge, whatever you want to call it, we have a great series still in our hands. So with that said, we're going to throw it to the analyst and get ready for this to pick back up and close itself in on an excellent finish.
The experts here on the desk demanded a Mirage. They thought with their hearts for a moment. I know that's not physically possible, but they did it, and that's the power of esports.
What
Gentlemen,
do you mean it's not physically possible?
to think with your heart. I think that's done by another part of the body. Yanko, Nuke does go the way of the Brazilians.
For some people than others.
And in a rather convincing fashion, it happens. Nuke does go the way, and we sat there and we said, you know, VP have obviously done some preparation. Picking this up in a semi-final, I mean, why would
Maybe not.
No, I mean, not
the way
now.
it played out, yeah.
Yeah, but beforehand, you'd expect VP to have done a whole lot of work to be picking that against a world-class team like SK.
I mean, this is the worrying thing, is just like when we had the game where Flipside picked it, you hoped, oh, they have some amazing plan on it, but actually when the way that game unfolded, the Flipside versus SK game, you were like, this is very unconvincing actually. Even when they're winning rounds, it's not really off some like special plan they had. I feel like it's even worse in this particular case because actually I have no idea what Virtus.Pro thought they were going to do on this map. I don't know what the plan was. They didn't seem to have one, and they're not good on this map. Like I said, last week in E-League, I saw them lose to Gambit on this map, and I think that was even like a reasonably decent scoreline. So I think this was, in the end, a waste of a map pick, because if SK wins that first very close game, this would be series over already. Yeah.
Now, Auguste, someone that we didn't talk about with Cobblestone, I actually want to talk about, or Taco about, Taco. This Brazilian did turn up on Nuke.
I mean, yeah, no, Taco has been showing steadily, I mean, just great improvements steadily over the past 6 months, we'll say, seriously. Like, it feels like he just needed to get comfortable with the lineup. Fallen needed to have time to work with them. But for quite some time now, it feels like he has really come into his own on the roster, and he has multiple scenes just like that one. Yeah, pick a map, Taco delivers. He gets that opportunity. He's not one to often make a mistake. He'll always at least trade that 1-for-1, and sometimes, like you saw there, he'll just go overboard and just shut around down.
The thing about Taco is, since he first joined the team, you know, he's fresh. Now he's come out of his shell. He doesn't mince around, you know. He does what he needs to. He's getting to the meat. He's the meat of the team.
That was a spicy meme.
I can do this.
Hey, all right. Moving on though, Yanko. We did already outline that it was a rather slow start for VP. That pistol round, that was agonizing to watch as a CS fan.
That was definitely painful to watch, and it has a psychological effect on the player, of course, but on the team as a whole. You see it, you're thinking, this is it. We won the pistol. It's going to be easier to play the T side now, and then just. It simply fades away, and you could see that they were down 5-0 after that. They win a round with an upper execute. That was pretty cool. Taz manages to sneak his way through the smoke, gets a triple kill, but it goes straight back to the SK guys. They were up 10-1 at one point in the game, and there were a lot of close clutch rounds, but that's where what Duncan pointed out in the pre-game for this map is that SK players are just, you know, really, really skilled individually, and they have the advantage coming into that. So you have to assume that more often than not, they're going to get the advantage in those retakes.
That's it. That's why you had to come into this expecting that VP, they'd spent this last week or a couple days, you know, trying to fine-tune something and really come up with a battle plan, because, right, going into this match, you're thinking, if it's going to turn into an aim fight, a knife fight, well, you know, they don't show up with a knife. They show up with a machete, SK. Yeah. They show up with a katana. They just take your arms off, and then you just, I mean, I'm not going to get too graphic, but it's brutal. It's brutal, and that's the problem, is that if VP can't be clever and have a smoke bomb or something to throw their attention off guard, they really need to be able to just come in and go for that aim fight. It's not going to happen. Not against Cold. Hell, not against Taco at this point. Like, they will take you man-to-man.
And one more name on SK that I do want to mention before we do start talking about Mirage after the break is Fur. He had an insane amount of opening kills. We talk about Taco as the entry fragger, but Fur just delivered on Nuke, and it's just testament, you know, I think if we rewind and watch this VOD back, we've mentioned every member of SK at one point or another, and their proficiency in an individual basis.
I mean, it's because they're all close to each other across the board. When you look at the scoreboard, I mean, itself, everyone contributes in that team, and Nuke has a map as well, seeing as they started on the CT side. Well, you can't really choose who's going to get contact, right? The terrorists do that for you, and he was just on point playing his spot.
This is a trend that we're starting to see across most of the top teams right now. When you get into that top 5 realm, there isn't really a weak man anymore on the roster. Everybody, in general, if a map is going well for the team, everybody's within 4 or 5 frags of each other from top to bottom. It's nuts. They're just constantly in the mid-teens, starting to get into the low 20s. You obviously have, you know, the guy who's going to have more opportunities to do work, the Cold, etc. You know, who might be, you know, inching his way towards the top. But there's nobody really lagging behind. That's when you see that happen. That's when you know, okay, something's wrong here. Like, so they're not quite getting it going for their game plan.
I mean, this is the concern, though, for the guys from VP. You look at their fragging, and it's very disjointed. Like that, just in terms of if you were to add up all the frags, I bet the advantage will be very firmly on the side of the guys from SK. Every map, they're all getting quite a lot. The guys from Virtus.Pro, they're winning rounds like 1v2s and 1v3s in these difficult situations. So I think it's a lot harder for them to get rounds because you're not going to get as many opportunities to win that scenario. Whereas if you're just putting up frags over and over and over, the rounds will come.
Now, Nuke for VP was but a chore. SK laying down the law, and I'm going to tell you now about the score. It's an application available on your smartphone. It's on iOS and Google Play. I'm attempting to do some sort of rhyme here. Either way, guys, we talk about Mirage after this one. The analysts were desperate to see it, and looks like the CS gods have graced us with a third map in our first semi-final here at ESL 1 Cologne. Stay tuned, and we'll be back with your third map.